What's up, guys? Dr. Uz here from the Dr. Uz Talks YouTube channel, and I'm on a bit of a mad one today because this is my third upload of the day, but there is a reason why I got so much time today, and it's too long to go into. But I just wanted to make a video. I see a lot of these videos on YouTube. They seem to come up a lot, and I don't know whether it's because of the age that I am that these things are kind of coming up, or just generally because of the fact that, you know, it's picking up on things that I'm saying or whatever. But I kind of see a lot of wrong advice being given to people. Well, in my opinion, wrong advice. You can disagree with me, right? And about what to do if you're in your 40s and not being successful, right? And the reason why is because a lot of this stuff, right, basically, you know, I get told this a lot as well. Okay, if you want to advertise a course or you want to get people to come or whatever, you got to appeal to their emotions, right? And I see nowadays there are a lot of vultures around. There are a lot of people who are more than happy to basically go and take your money off you when you're in desperate need. I hate people like that. And one day maybe I will tell you my story, my own story of what happened to me, about how I got scammed on something, and that will tell you why I hate scammers so much. But this thing comes up a lot about if you're 40s and you're not successful, then this is what you need to do. Then you come to my course, then you learn some mindset, then I'm going to give you life coaching, then you're going to turn your life around. Okay. And I kind of say, okay, fine, that's great. But that is only really if you believe your success is in one field, right? And what happens is that we champion a lot of people who are, who maybe have not been successful up until a certain period of time and then end up with a big success story. Obviously the pursuit of happiness is a really big one, you know, that turned into a film and all that kind of stuff. Of this one guy, he wasn't successful, then he became, you know, a stockbroker or whatever it was, and then became really rich, right? And that's how we kind of garner success, right? But like a lot of these things, when I'm kind of bringing up a subject, it's because I've seen something, or something's come up in a reel, or like I've seen something in a newspaper, and I get the Times online regularly, which is a UK newspaper. There was one article in it that I found was really interesting, and it's basically about how Chinese restaurants are dying out in the UK. Right now, bear with me. This will make sense in a minute, right? It's basically how we're getting a declining amount of Chinese restaurants. Now, you go anywhere, there's like Lebanese, there's like burger places, there's like this, there's like that. But when you look at Chinese, like I remember when I was a kid, there was Chinese restaurants everywhere, but they're now decreasing. And the reason for that, which they delve into, is because the fact that when Chinese immigrants came into this country, they used the skill that they had, which was making Chinese food for an English audience. It's not really Chinese food, but it's for an English audience, making it quick and easy and cheap, and making it so that, you know, they would make some money, right? Now, they really didn't want their children to be carrying on in that sphere. The whole point in them coming to this new country was so that they could end up with you know, their children making it success, their grandchildren making it success, etc. So, not to say that, you know, Chinese restaurant isn't a good profession. The honest day's work is an honest day's work, is, you know, better than anything, right? But these Chinese immigrants basically felt that they wanted their kids to have a great education, so they would pour all of their money and effort into their kids getting great education, because then that would mean that they would become doctors, lawyers, dentists, you know, whatever, accountants, all that kind of stuff, and engineers. And then basically then they would then get that success, and then they would utilize that success to go on to the grandkids, right? So the grandkids would become more successful, and it becomes a higher and higher tier each time. And when you look at the most highest exam results in the UK per ethnicity, the highest result is Chinese born UK, right? Not Chinese from another country, Chinese born UK. So this is really important with what I'm going to say there now. The success that those Chinese immigrants felt was not them making crap tons of money or making 15 restaurants or having a franchise or becoming famous or whatever. Their whole thing was, our success is based on how well our children do. Okay? And they see their own reflection in their children. Now we're in a very individualistic society where it's just like, oh, I did well for myself and that's it. Nobody thanks their parents or anything like that. But these Chinese immigrants are all about, I want to make my kids successful. And that is what I see in myself. If I've done well, my kids are now successful, right? And that's a great way to kind of think about it. And this is the way that I would say to somebody who's in their 40s and is feeling like, oh, I'm not successful, I'm not doing well, I've got a job there where I'm barely scraping by, etc. I can't buy this, I can't buy that. Listen, what I would say to you is this: it's up to you whether you want to cause massive upheaval in your family, take huge risks, and then end up, you know, maybe if you're lucky, becoming financially successful. Or do you want to change your definition of success? Now, if you want to change your definition of success, that is much more easy. Okay. You look at the talent that your kids have and you nurture it and you build it and you grow it, right? So you have a child there who's gifted at drawing. Okay, fine. Let's go. Let's kind of like, let's push that. Let's become great at that, right? Let's follow the journey. That just requires pens and paper, right? Pens and paper. You get a kid who's really into it, right? Eventually later on, maybe you can get them a really nice set of pens and stuff, or a nice set of pencils. I've seen some of these pencils that are stupidly expensive, right? And it's like for major artists who are kind of doing stuff. But that's a kind of reward for them later on. Okay, you won't take them on a holiday to the Caribbean, or you won't be able to afford, like, you know, a massive house or whatever. But your success is that kid becoming great at something. You see your kid who's really good at athletics or something. Fine, let's go to the park on a regular basis. Let's get you training. Let's get you running. Let's do whatever that we can do, right? Let's nurture that. You have a kid there who's intelligent in maths. Let's nurture it. Let's go to the library. Let's do all that kind of stuff. Free stuff at the library. Let's go and nurture it and do it. And then when that kid is successful, the same way that the Chinese immigrants saw their kids were successful, that doesn't mean that it's just the kid. That doesn't mean that it's just the kid that's successful, right? You are successful as well. You inputted that, you grew that, you helped that, you nurtured that, okay? That is your success. You can be proud of that, okay? I don't get this weird idea that people have there nowadays where they're like, I want my kids to be proud of me, right? Okay, that's good. That's good. That's great. But the thing is that your kids should have that respect there for you anyway, where you don't feel that you need to make them proud, right? Your kids should feel that when they're successful, they are making you proud, okay? And then you can take that success and be like, I'm successful, you know? I might not have loads of money. I might not have, I might not have a Ferrari. I might not have a big house. I might not have whatever. But you know what I do have? My kids have gone to uni. They're successful. They're on a higher tier than I am. I've set that thing in them, the work ethic, the study ethic, all of that kind of stuff. And I've done all of that so that now they are going to set that onto my grandkids, and we're going to expand that, right? And we're going to become, like successful in that way. Okay. And take a leaf out of the book of those Chinese immigrants and the way that they kind of looked at it. Because they didn't care whether they ended up with a massive franchise, right? And all of these things like Dragon's Den and Shark Tank and, you know, all these influencers are making millions and millions off very minimal kind of things. People think that every single person is now going to make it, right? But they're not, okay? And you can gain that success from that. Now, I know this doesn't really help people who don't have kids, and I'm planning to make another video there when I get around to it for somebody, a bloke who's in their 40s who doesn't have kids, how to become successful. But think about it. Very easy to become successful if you change your definition of success from that, okay, to something else. Don't chase material stuff in the world when you've got something there that requires your attention and you can make that thing flipping great, which is your son or your daughter. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. I'll see you again in the next video.